Composing Gloves here, and today we're going to be looking at making the classic house shuffle beat inside of Amp Studio. To make this beat, you will need a kick drum, you're going to need a clap, and you're going to need a hi-hat. So to get us started, the kick drum goes on every beat. And in Amp Studio, if you hold down Alt and click drag, you can clone a sample, and then you release the mouse. Just make sure you're holding down Alt the entire time. If you ever release it, it won't clone it. So now we've got 4 kicks and one on every beat. So 1, 1.2, 1.3, and 1.4. I'll have a kick drum. It sounds like this. And if the first one's a bit different than the others, then that probably means you've duplicated it like I have here. So I'm going to lose that so it's the same throughout. After that, the next part of this beat is we are going to have the clap sound. This is the classic boots and cats sound. We're going to have the claps on beats 2 and 4, like so. And once you have that down, you've got a lot of the beat already going. The rest is the shuffle part, and we're going to accomplish this by using the hi-hat. So take the hi-hat. If your hi-hat is longer, just go ahead and trim it down to a 16th, which is one of these little boxes. And go ahead and just make using the same duplication method, just clone them across like so that they fill all 16 spots. And right now it's going to be, these are called straight 16ths. And what we're going to do is I'm going to hold down Control and Shift, and I'm going to click and drag over every other, oh, well, we've got a selection. Lose the selection, and then Control Shift, and then I'm going to click and drag to select every other hi-hat. And we are going to take these and move them to their own track and move them a little off. Now use your ear for this. Something like that's quite nice. And then having them all be the same loudness is not the greatest idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to take track 4, which has these offbeat hi-hats, or these shuffle hi-hats, I should say, and we're going to reduce the volume a little bit. So the volume's already down a touch, but we're going to go ahead and remove it just a tad more. And if you want to get fancy, what we could do is let's bring the hats down a little bit, just balance it out. You can do things like automate the volume. So if you click the little automation icon here and go to volume, you'll get access to the volume parameter. And I would like it to start and stop at the same point, but I'd like there to be a small dip and then it to rise back up. And then that's a little bit much, so we'll pull it back a little bit right here. Nothing too crazy. Just so there's a little bit more groove throughout the beat, so it's always pushing to the next loop. And that is the house shuffle beat. At this point, the drums are pretty sparse, and this is a good spot where you've got a groove. I would start looking at figuring out what your main bass sound is going to be, what your main lead sound is going to be, and what kind of melodies you want to use. And then I'd come back and revisit the drums and add a few more layers and begin to build that way. This way, you don't have an overly complicated drum part that makes it hard to put in some melodic content with it. But that is it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below and give Amp Studio a try today.